Hello guys, my name is Pedagogy Implementation, absent 23, and right now we'll continue my group presentation, and the material is Pedagogy Implementation. Okay, first let's talk about the pedagogy practice. The most important aspect of the learning process in institution is the interaction that takes place between teachers and students. The complexity occurs as the understanding of teaching and learning. Teaching was intentionally interpreted as one-way instruction from a teacher to students. This understanding has been challenged by the new understanding of learning that requires active acquisition of knowledge by the learner. Instead of just listening, taking notes, and because of that, there is an ongoing debate of the best way learning. So discussion and research about pedagogy is still continue. Okay guys, after talk about the pedagogy practice, now let's start to the next part, and the next part is pedagogy implementation in Indonesia learning method. First, there is active learning. Active learning was method that implemented by Hasanuddin in 2010. He wrote thesis on impact of the active learning method on student performance and found that when teachers use this method, students can achieve significant improvement in knowledge and concepts. He also found that the use of these methods can increase the student motivation into the learning process and improve the outcome of their learning. And next method is Polya model. Polya model is the method that implemented by Kokom Komaria in 2011. Kokom Komaria analyzed the use of problem-solving approach among secondary school students in Bandung, West Java. She focused her analysis on the use of the problem-solving approach known as the Polya model. In learning mathematics, after several stages of observation and experimentation, she concluded that this problem-solving approach was an effective way to teach students about mathematical concepts. And next is Pak Ikem. Febrian Al-Hamidi was the person that implemented Pak Ikem, that known as pembelajaran aktif, inovatif, efektif, dan menyenangkan. In English is active, innovative, effective, and enjoyable learning. Studied the use of Pak Ikem in Sekolah Menengah Pertama Negeri 7, SMPN 7, Public Secondary School in Semarang, Java. He examined the effectiveness of conventional learning methods in studying history and compared this with the effectiveness of using the soccer ball game for the subject. Now, let's talk about how this polya model works to students. First, there's a example for this about a question. There's a question. Bagus Suryawan put 18 pencils in 3 equal groups. How many pencils are in each group? And student stitched by this polya model will learn about 3 steps. The first is understand, second is plan, and solve. Let's talk first about the understand. What do you need to know? You need to know that there are 18 pencils and they are divided into 3 equal groups. After understand the problem, we need to make a plan, and the plan is how can you solve the problem? And the answer is you can write a number sentence to solve the problem. Write a division sentence to divide the pencil in 3 equals group. And the next and the last step is solve. We know that 18 can be divided by 3, and the answer is 6. There are 6 pencils in each group, and the answer is 6. And the use of these methods is effective for students in learning mathematics. Okay, move to the next method is Pak Ikem. You already know the focus on using this method is by focusing on the active learning, effective, enjoyable, and innovative. Because of that, there are many ways to implement this method in the learning process. For example, there is visual effects that make students watch some education movie, drawing activities that can make students draw and remember that what are they drawing. For example, you can give some alphabet and tell the student to draw something similar with alphabet. And three is listening activities. From listening activities, it can be enjoyable for the students because they love something fun. Because of that, they will learn actively and they will improve their listening skill, and of course it can help them to get the long-term memory. You can sing some educational stuff like uh, ABC song and the other song. And the last thing is writing activities. As a teacher, you can tell the students to make a story about what they are like in their life. When something like food, drink, they can make story about this kind of thing that they like. The next method is active learning. This method is focusing on the students. The students need to be active in the learning process, and the implementing of this method is you can use some games. And right now I will give you some example of game that you can try for students. And the game is called color mixing games. To play these games, you need to prepare the material first. The material are any kind of color like yellow, green, red, and the other things. Of course, this color need to be safe for children, okay? You can use food coloring. And next is 3 cups of water, 3 dropper, and the last thing is styrofoam. The way this game works is you need to put 1 drop of food coloring in each cup and put 1 dropper in each cup. Encourage the child to put drops of food coloring in the compartments of carton, mixing the 3 primary colors to create new colors. Extend activity by recording colors created using crayons and paper. Now let's talk about how we applying this method for children to learning English. You can imply the method from Pak Ikam, enjoyable. You can turn the learning process into games that help children to learning English. For example, is playing dodgeball. You can setting the games to have a question when the person is hit with the ball. And the question can be like a personal question like what is your name? Do you like juice? And the other question. And of course, you can change the question with months in English language. You can challenge the person that hit with the ball like a question like this. What is 2 months before February? Like that. Okay, move to the next method is with active learning. In this method, you can change the learning process into singing. Because when singing, the student can improve their pronunciation skill and listening abilities. And by to improve their pronunciation, teacher need to practice one letter sound. For example, A, B, C, D, E. And the song can be like ABC song, like A, B, C, D, E. And the student need to repeat the pronunciation of the each alphabet in the song. Okay, to improve the listening abilities, teacher can help the students to practice listening carefully. Choose 10 words from a song, then choose 2 or 3 extra words that aren't in the songs. Write the words in a random order and give the list to your students. Play the song and ask them to tick the words they hear. Okay, I think that's all I can tell you about my subject material, and thank you for listening.